We've been a little down lately about the Reds. The Reds have been a little down, too. I don't think we could deny that. We sent out an SOS to our friend of the show, Sam LeCure. I said, hey, look, the guys, we're all getting a little down about the team. The fans are getting down. So he has a job to do. He has to bring the positivity to the show. Can you do that, Sam? Are we able to do that today?
Yeah, I can. I don't think that should be too tough of a sell, to be honest with you.
I like that. He's off to a good start,
Yeah.
guys. He's off to a very good start. No, so they end the 4-game losing streak last night, obviously, and have a chance to actually leave Atlanta. As bad as the first couple games were, they have a chance to leave Atlanta tonight with a split. Can't, complain about that. They do get the big win last night, but unfortunately, what has everybody talking, they lose Hunter Greene. For how long, that's still the big question.
Yeah, that was of all the things that have gone on injury-wise with this team so far this year, that's a pretty big one. I mean, that's the Elly of your pitching staff right there. So imagine going a couple weeks without Elly. It's going to be tough on anybody, but it's been a tough go for this team so far already, and I think that that's why I'm surprised that people are down. It it's people who just look at a box score. They're not watching the game. They're not paying attention to the transactions and who's up and who's down. And I mean, Steer starts the season hurt. McLain missed a year. I mean, they're just not putting all the pieces together. Austin Hayes, Tyler Stevenson, blah blah blah. I mean, I could go down the list. And the fact that this team's 500, I looked somewhere the other day and it said that the Reds' strength of schedule to this point has been one of the weakest in baseball. Obviously, somebody who put that together has numbers to back that up. I disagree with it because I watch every game. The people that are making decisions or deciding to be down on the Reds right now, you're not watching every game. And I know that obviously that's a big time commitment to watch every game of baseball because it's long and it's every day. But you got to fall in love with it over time, man. So for me, I'm proud of them for being at 500 right now with all the ups and downs they've had, with all the huge slumps that they've had. And yes, they showed the type of team that they can be for that stretch run, but they had everybody there. Maybe not Tyler, but pretty much they had everybody else there. Noelvi Marte was clicking. I mean, there's a lot to be optimistic about with this team.
Sam LeCure with us. You mentioned Hunter Greene. Obviously, it's never a good thing when he misses any start. But when you consider how good the pitching staff has been, not just the rotation, but the bullpen as well, how good of a rotation bullpen is this to be able to sustain, whether it's a short or lengthy absence of Hunter Greene? If you want to put a positive on it, that's been the strength of this team. Is it still good enough to withstand a short or long absence of Hunter Greene in the process?
It's certainly good enough to withstand a short one. A long one, I don't want to talk about it because I don't think this is going to be a long one. Is it good enough? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it, I guess is what I'd say. And I love the guys. I mean, I love Nick Lodolo. I love Brady Singer. I think has been outstanding. Andrew Abbott. Yes, I love. So, but those are more until Nick Lodolo becomes the Nick Lodolo that I believe him to be. Nick Lodolo right now is a game manager. He's going to give you six with 2 or 3 runs allowed, which is a good start. Don't get me wrong. But until he rounds into the form that I think he's capable of, which is a number one, a guy that can go out there and just punch out the world on command type of deal. No, I don't think they can withstand a long absence of Hunter, but I do think they can withstand it in the short term. They've done that to this point. I already wrote my little slate for tonight. My little nerdy segment with the high, the 5 head when y'all were talking about last night or the last time we were on when I was in the airport. You're like, yeah, you're gonna have any hair on that slate this year? I was like, bro, I ain't got no hair already anyway. Why do you think I'm wearing a cowboy hat? But I already wrote it for tonight, and it was kind of the title of one was engine question mark. It's like who's the engine that's driving this train? And I believe that it is and will continue to be the pitching staff, but they've only won games when they've scored runs. The pitching staff has kept them in every game, but they haven't gone out and just won the 3-2 game. They've got shut out 1-0 a bunch of times. All this stuff. The offense has to be like 1A. I mean, it can't be the pitching staff drives it and the offense follows along because that hasn't happened to this point. So the offense might be the most important piece of this deal because the pitching just is what it is now, and it could be the engine that drives the train. But this offense has to score some runs, and they've got to do it consistently. And they'll do that when they have a consistent lineup and when Matt McLain wakes up from this little slumber.
We're not medical doctors here on the on this program, and maybe Sam
This ought to be
Sam is the
good.
closest to a medical doctor. But let me ask you this real quick: when we talk about injuries on this Reds team, I feel like we've run into them more than any other team in Major League Baseball. At least that's what it feels like here. Is there truth to that, or is that just a fan's perception here in Cincinnati that we're more injured than everybody else?
It's a little bit of both, if it can be that. Because, I mean, I was even flustered last night on the show a little bit. I was like, "Good God, man!" Because, a lot of friends follow and they want to kind of text about something during the game, um, and it's like Hunter goes down. It's injury is the death of the Reds, and it has felt that way for a little while now. But every team is injured.
Yeah.
Every team's injured. I'll say that. I mean, you can go. I mean, run through the division, and you're going to be hard pressed to find a team who doesn't have a key player that's on the injury list. So it does feel like it a lot here. But we watch these guys every day, right? We're just more aware of it than say. I've got buddies that are big Yankee fans, Red Sox fan, Astros fans, Cubs, whatever, Dodger fans, from all over the country from all my travels. And, so I keep up with those guys, with those teams pretty good. They're hurt too. I mean, the Dodgers, I could probably go pitch for the Dodgers right now. Their pitching staff's so depleted. If that tells you how hurt a team is, I could probably slide into the rotation in the number 3 spot. But every team's hurt, but it does feel like it here. And the difference in Cincinnati is those other teams are built a little bit differently to withstand that because they got a bunch of money. They can go out and their 26th man could damn near start here. I mean, I don't mean that against any of the Reds players, but I mean, it's just kind of an example that they can withstand it a little better because they can provide more depth to their organization by spending money. The Reds can't do that. They have to draft and develop. And if the guys that they draft and develop aren't ready when their time's called. I mean, Reese Hines has been hot lately, and he
Yeah.
comes up and he looks like he's swinging it, blindfolded. It's a different game. You have to prepare these guys. So if the Reds don't create their depth internally, it's going to be tough for them to withstand the injuries that they've had, and they have had a lot of them. Which again is why kind of my first point off the top was I don't know why people are down. They're 500 and they haven't had their full roster once, not one day.
Let me ask you this: do you think this year's roster is drastically different, or let me just say more improved from last year's roster? Because I think the big question this year was the offense, and I don't know if the offense was addressed as much as the fans wanted. But Gavin Lux has been incredible. Austin Hayes before the injury was incredible. Guys like Noelvi Marte, who you didn't expect to be up, have been incredible. Do you think this roster this year is better enough from last year to make a postseason run?
Yes. That's going to be just my short. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Jose Trevino. I mean, what an addition he's been. All the guys they brought in: Brady Singer, Gavin Lux, Austin Hayes, Jose Trevino. Other than Hayes not being on the field every single game, is there anything more you would ask of those guys?
No.
No, you brought them in to supplement the core players that need to take their asses a step forward. And that's why I'm kind of not on Matt McLain yet because I still think he's their best player. Ellie's the superstar. I think Matt McLain's their best player or will be. He missed a year of major league at bats, man. It's not easy. He made it look pretty easy his rookie year. Right now, he just kind of caught in between. But they brought those guys in to supplement what they have here, which the players they have here are really good. Ellie's really good. McLain's really good. Noelvi's pretty damn good. TJ's having a nice year. They brought it. I feel like they brought in the right guys. I think if they can get this group on the field together, man, I don't want to say by the end of May. I want it to happen sooner than that because that means Hunter's on the field. I'd be surprised if they don't win the division.
I love it.
Ah, I'd be a little bit surprised if they didn't win the division.
That's fine. That's good enough for me to put a little bet on it later today. You are listen now.
Every time I come on this show, I'm losing your money.
Yeah, listen,
So I'm
you
sorry
guys
about that.
have improved that this year.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you've improved that this year. The FanDuel parlay has been a lot better this year.
Yeah, they've, I've told you, they pick it. I have thought that I needed, because of the job, I thought I was supposed to be a homer and just agree with everything they said. But I've actually been trying to give my honest opinion of it. Like the other night, I was like, Brady Singer's not going to get 5 strikeouts. Last night, I said, oh my God, maybe I jinxed Hunter. Because I said the only way that Hunter Greene doesn't get 4 strikeouts tonight, and I almost said if he gets injured. I said, is if there's a rain delay, he gives up 7 runs in the second inning or whatever it was, and then it happened. I was like, but he got it. He hit the parlay. But that's the most important thing. But no, I mean, I think we've done better this year because I think we've won a handful of them. But man, it's difficult. Like buddies of mine will send me the stuff, and I'm like, bro, one, don't do that. And 2, it is just impossible to predict because it looks like all that stuff, like, yeah, that could absolutely happen. The other night, a buddy of mine sent me something like this, or whatever the case was, and it was going to pay out like $1,500. I'm like, that absolutely seems like that should happen. And like, not even close, didn't hit a damn one of them. So that betting thing's pretty wild. But I told somebody before the year that and I don't know all the betting restrictions for broadcasters and stuff like that. I don't bet. Um, I like to know exactly how I'm going to lose my money, and I'm pretty good at that anyway. So, but I said I would have bet $500 on the Reds to win the division. And I don't know what the payout on that would have been, or if I wanted to be real greedy, I would have put $500 on them to win the World Series. Now, I still believe they have a path to win this division. I think the Cubs are playing out of their shoes a little bit. And I don't think the Reds. I mean, Elly hadn't even been warm hardly. He had like a 20-game hitting streak. He wasn't even warm. He was just like filleting some balls the other way. And then, you get once McLain gets going. I mean, the look of the lineup. If you've got Tyler Stevenson hitting like 7th, who Tyler Stevenson, over a full season is going to hit you 260 with 20-some homers. Like, it's a good lineup, man.
Let me ask you this. I was watching the game. It was Sunday against the Nationals. The Reds were down 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th. And all of a sudden on my TV, I start seeing fans do the wave. Now, Sam, when you're pitching, or when you're pitching for the Reds, and you're down and you're losing, do you get annoyed by it? Because I start throwing my remote. We're losing. What are we doing the wave? It's like Red Zella. He's flinging balls into the stands. We're trying to win a baseball game, and we're doing the wave.
I love the passion, brother. I love it. I'd like to cut the brake lines on Redzilla, number one, and run into the Ohio River. But no, the wave, dude. I mean, I've never liked the wave. Whether I'm pitching, we're not pitching, we're on the road, we're at home, but I have learned to accept it because at least the fans are participating. Because it pisses me off more when they just sit there for 3 hours waiting for something to boo. Get up and cheer, engage your players before something happens. I mean, not every time, you stand up is when the bases are loaded and Elly comes to bat and you chant Elly. Like, don't just sit there waiting for something to boo. The fans have no idea the injection of life that they can give to a team just to start cheering, at any kind of random point in the game, because there is no random point in the game, especially in a close game. Every pitch matters. Like, that's going to be the fun part about this team this year is, for the most part, they're going to play close games. Every pitch is going to matter, and if you're paying attention, you're gonna witness the best part of the game. If you cheer for that, if you're manifesting that or whatever as a fan, and you guys get together and start making some noise, it's felt. it is felt on the field, man. Like I'll never be able to get that point across, and people will never do it because they're too busy looking at their phones. Like, why go to the game and look at your phone? You could have just stayed your ass on the couch eating bonbons all night. If you're gonna come to the game, you know what I mean, dude? It's like this red zone. I'm passionate about it. Let's go.
Hopefully, if some of these
Screw
Reds
red
fans
zone.
or Reds
Screw the
players will
wave,
start going to
too.
the games, get their numbers up a little bit. And speaking of these guys, which one do you think is going to inject themselves and improve their numbers the most? We have McLain, Steer down at the bottom of this
McLain.
rotation. Candelario obviously on IL now, but played terribly when
Nope.
he was up. Which one of these guys that has been so far below expectation are you most confident in being one of this team's best players down the stretch?
Matt McLain. I mean, Matt McLain, no doubt. He's, like I said, I think he's their best player. I think he has. He's going through it a little bit right now, but I think that the last couple nights, aside from the defensive laps that he made, in my opinion, he's found base a little bit. He's hit a couple last night in the first inning. He smoked a ball up the middle. Like there's been good signs that he's coming, and it's early enough that he can auto correct these numbers. I mean that's for every for every line out there's a blooper, bro, and he hadn't had many line outs. I'll say that. It's been some pretty weak contact for him, but he's the guy that one I believe in, and number two I hope because they need him because if he plays to the capabilities like it, then you start talking to Freedom, McLain, Elly, Hayes, Lux. If maybe Marte comes back looking like the guy he was, a Stevenson or Trevino, not even talking about Spencer Steer, who I love, who can absolutely length. I mean, if Spencer Steer's hitting eighth in this lineup, which he might, you're in good shape, bro.
Speaking of Spencer Steer, since with Christian Encarnacion-Strand on IL, he's kind of the guy that's been viewed as the long-term first baseman. Spencer Steer has been unbelievable defensively at first base, and that's not something that we necessarily saw from him in the outfield. With how good Gavin Lux has looked in left field, a position he hadn't played really before coming to Cincinnati, do you think there could be any kind of plans to have Spencer Steer be more of a full-time first baseman with how elite he's been at that spot?
Yeah, especially I mean, when Strand comes back, I mean, Strand's another guy that I'm really high on, and he's made me look like a fool for a while now. I'm not ready to abandon him yet, because I think he's a good hitter, and I think if he just touches the ball, it's going to go over the field. But yeah, I think Spencer's a great option for over there, and I think first base they have enough guys that they can rotate in around there. Hell, Austin Wynns was good at first base the other night. I would trust Tyler Stevenson at first base sometimes to get Trevino behind the plate, get Tyler off his legs. The DH spot helps this team. No, I think that's where Spencer should play, is first base right now, because the throwing arm, I don't know what's going on with it. They're trying to like recreate his mechanics, but he's a good first baseman. He's a good baseball player, and first base should be the place that he plays. And let's not forget real quick, just to mention Santiago Espinal. We don't have to say anything about him. I just wanted to say his name.
He's been great. He has been great. So you said Austin Wynns certainly played first base. Reds carrying three catchers, two of which have been two of the better hitters on this entire team. Tyler Stevenson was one of the better hitters going into this season, at least expectation-wise. What is the plan with those three catchers? Do you think we see Austin Wynns at first base more often, all three in the lineup like we did when Noelvi Marte got scratched? Or is it going to be more of a traditional sense where you're going to have to keep one on the bench even though they are three of your better bats?
I think that you have to. I mean, that's just going to be an evolution of the roster. And can they get everybody that they? If everybody that they want is healthy, then I hate that for Austin Wynns because he's been great, but he's got to go. I mean, you
Right.
can't. That's a luxury they have right now, or actually not a luxury. It's just a product of the fact that they need a warm body to some degree. I mean, he wouldn't be up in normal times. I love what he's done, but no, you can't. That was kind of a one-off. He learned 10 minutes before the game he was going to play first base. That's not going to happen often. But once they get everybody that they want, that they envisioned on this roster, yeah, that'll be just down to Tyler and Trevino.
Sam LeCure with us. Sam, the rotation, when it's healthy, Hunter Greene gets back. We're hoping very, very soon. Right now, we just, Rhett Lauder's starting a rehab stint right now. Assuming everyone's healthy in this rotation, what do you do with Rhett Lauder? You just have a very, very good pitcher. You're just kind of waiting over in AAA. How do you see that kind of playing out? You have 5 really good pitchers in this rotation when Hunter's healthy. MLB-ready pitcher in Rhett Lauder once he's done with his rehab stint. How do you see that playing out?
I see him pitching in AAA until they need him.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's just kind of the way that it is, man. I mean, it's not like some beautiful answer. It's just that's is what it is. If he would have made the rotation out of spring training, that would have been a bad thing, in my opinion. Just whether he's ready or not, right now he may be ready, but that doesn't mean he could not use a little bit more seasoning. And I think this would be the perfect time for him because coming off the starts he had in the big leagues last year where the numbers were great, that doesn't mean he didn't learn anything. Like he could be like, oh, I got away with some stuff. I know you guys got on me for cussing last time. It's just how I talk. But he can go down there and work on that stuff there to make sure that when he gets back up to the big leagues, he's ironed that out and he's ready to go. Same way, I mean, I was kind of talking about Reese Hines last night when he came up last year and hit all those home runs, and then he didn't sniff a fastball the rest of the time he was up. And so my hope was that he went down throughout this season and used that time to adjust in the minor leagues. Work on the adjustment in the minor leagues. When you came up to the big leagues, you're more prepared to hit. And it just looked like he wanted to do the same thing, which is press liftoff, every time last night. Like, you'll just get exposed, bro. Like, it's hard to hit. I see it right away. I mean, not that I could physically go out there and do it, but mentally, if I had the stuff to do it, I'd go out and pick these guys apart. Like the holes become obvious real quick. And if you don't close them up, you're going to get on a bus again real quick. But for Rhett Lauder, for the rotation should be the 5 guys, and they should take their time with Rhett. He needs to continue to build up his innings and all those things like that, just in terms of his career path.
All right, we appreciate you giving us the time that you always do. Last thing on the way out, we've had the debate on this show about the pitch clock. You're on the mound. There's 5 seconds left. You got to get that pitch off. 5 seconds, but the crowd's chanting 3, 2, 1, starting at 5. Does that actually distract you? Or are you actually being thrown off with that? Some people in here like when the fans do that. Some in here, not a big fan of it. You're on the mound. How is that? Is that distracting you? Is that impacting you? Do you even know what's going on?
Probably me. I probably wouldn't know what was going on. I probably wouldn't even know where I was. And I'm telling you, man, like if you all have watched For Love of the Game with Kevin Costner, that whole clear the mechanism thing, like that's a pretty accurate. I mean, nobody actually says that in their head, but it's a pretty accurate description of how that goes. Like I couldn't tell you. Everybody in the stands could damn near been naked, and I might not have known it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you're just like you're zeroed in, and with the pitch clock, I mean, I can see these guys' eyes darting over when they're on the mound, and they have got the camera on them, like they're looking over here. And at first, I was like, "Are they looking at who's on deck?" And then I was like, "Oh no, the pitch clock." They're keenly aware of how much time is on the pitch clock, and no, I don't think they recognize it. Do I like it? Kinda, again, because I want the fans to participate a little bit, but it pisses me off too.
All right, Sam LeCure, Reds pre- and post-game show. Awesome enough to give us some time here today and off the bench. Sam, you're the best. We always love when you come on the show and hope to have you on again soon.
Hopefully I did my job of kind of raising the Reds fan spirits. They're at 500, man. It's 0-0. It's a new ball game. And as they get healthier and healthier, you guys start showing up to the ballpark, and I'll have them prove it for you.
Sounds like a plan. Sam, you the man. Thank you.
Thank you.